More than 200 Venezuelans, alleged by the White House to be gang members, have been deported to a supermax prison in El Salvador, despite a U.S. judge blocking the removals. El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele announced the arrival of 238 members of the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang, alongside 23 MS-13 gang members. North Macedonia declared a 7-day period of mourning after a nightclub fire killed at least 59 people and injured many others. Authorities detained 15 people for questioning, and a preliminary inspection revealed that the club was operating without a proper license. Oil prices rose on Monday as the U.S. vowed to continue targeting Yemen's Houthis until the Iran-aligned group stops its attacks on shipping, while Chinese economic data spurred optimism for increased demand. Yemen's Houthi rebels reported new U.S. airstrikes, increasing the death toll to 53, including 5 children. The strikes targeted areas in Al Jauf and Hudaida. The U.S. military said operations against the Houthis would continue following the group's attacks on Red Sea shipping. The Trump administration is preparing to impose travel restrictions on citizens from 43 countries, including Afghanistan, Bhutan, and Pakistan, according to reports. These new restrictions are expected to be broader than those imposed during Trump's previous term. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an order to reduce funding to the Voice of America, accusing the broadcaster of being anti-Trump and radical. The order aims to prevent taxpayers from funding what the administration considers radical propaganda. Violent storms and tornadoes have killed at least 32 people in the U.S., with Missouri reporting the highest number of fatalities, at least 12. The Missouri State Highway Patrol continues operations in affected areas. 2 British citizens detained by the Taliban have been separated and moved to a high-security prison in Afghanistan. Peter and Barbie Reynolds, who were arrested in February, were traveling with an American friend and a translator when they were taken into custody. Johns Hopkins University announced that it would cut over 2,000 jobs due to significant cuts to international aid programs imposed by the Trump administration, marking a significant blow to the institution's research and operations. Houthi rebels claimed responsibility for another attack on a U.S. naval vessel, the USS Harry Truman, firing 18 missiles and a drone. The U.S. military confirmed continued operations against the group in response to its actions in the Red Sea. North Korea declared its intention to strengthen its nuclear arsenal, rejecting calls from the Group of 7 to abandon its nuclear ambitions. The North's foreign ministry said its status as a nuclear power is permanent under national law. NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, stranded on the International Space Station since June, are scheduled to return to Earth aboard SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, along with other Crew 9 astronauts, following the arrival of Crew 10. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz confirmed that airstrikes in Yemen have killed multiple Houthi leaders as part of an ongoing response to the group's attacks on Red Sea shipping, asserting that this strike was not a limited action but a decisive response. The Democratic Party in the U.S. is facing historically low approval ratings, following recent political struggles and a failed attempt to avert a government shutdown. New polls indicate a significant drop in public support for the party. UK Technology Secretary Peter Kyle's use of ChatGPT has been exposed through a Freedom of Information request, marking the first known case of a politician using the AI tool for policy advice, especially on AI adoption in the business sector. A Peruvian fisherman, Maximo Napa, was found alive after drifting at sea for 94 days. Rescued by an Ecuadorian vessel, he survived by eating birds, turtles, and cockroaches while stranded in his small boat. Russian forces reportedly advanced in southern Ukraine, breaching part of Ukrainian defenses southeast of Zaporizhia. These claims have not been independently verified, and Ukraine has not issued an official response. The American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, challenging its actions to deport international students who support Palestinian rights, seeking a nationwide restraining order against the enforcement of 2 executive orders. Kuwait has repealed Article 153 of its penal code, which previously allowed reduced sentences for men who killed female relatives caught in adultery. The change marks significant progress toward gender equality in the country's legal system. Croatia's tourism minister warned that rising tourism prices could damage the country's reputation. The 50% increase in prices, especially for seasonal services like taxis and beach bars, may drive tourists away if not accompanied by improvements in service quality. US President Donald Trump's trade tariffs are expected to hurt global growth and raise inflation, with the OECD predicting Canada and Mexico will be most affected. The tariffs will also impact US economic growth. A new photographic exhibition in Buenos Aires explores the grief and experiences of 25 mothers whose children were victims of Hamas's October 7 attacks. The exhibition, El Ultimo Abrazo, by Israeli photographer Ifat Peer, will run through May 25. The World Cocoa Conference 2024 will take place in Brussels from April 21 to 24. The event will attract over 1,000 participants from across the cocoa sector, including governments, private sector, cocoa growers, NGOs, and journalists. Russian military intelligence was reportedly behind an arson attack on an IKEA store in Vilnius last year. A suspect linked to similar crimes is in custody in Poland, though Russia denies any involvement in sabotage activities. Saudi authorities have increased security measures in Mecca for the Ramadan Umrah season, deploying over 200 smart screens to manage operations and ensure the safety of the millions of pilgrims visiting the city. A former Texas megachurch pastor, Robert Preston Morris, is expected to turn himself into authorities in Oklahoma to face child sexual abuse charges after resigning in 2024 following allegations of abuse dating back to the 1980s. Russia has reportedly presented a list of demands to the US for a potential peace deal to end its invasion of Ukraine and reset relations. These demands followed Ukraine's acceptance of a 30-day proposal discussed during peace talks in Saudi Arabia. A delivery driver who suffered severe burns when a Starbucks drink spilled on his lap has been awarded $50 million in a lawsuit. The lawsuit claimed the Starbucks barista failed to properly secure the drink before handing it to him. Dozens of foreign CEOs are expected to attend the China Development Forum in Beijing this month, with some likely to meet President Xi Jinping. The event will take place March 23 to 24 at the Dairo Yutai State Guesthouse. Russia launched a new intermediate-range ballistic missile, Orshnik, into Ukraine in November, signaling an escalation in the conflict. Though it used inert submunitions, the missile marked a new phase in Russia's military strategy. UNICEF reported that escalating conflict in South Kivu, DRC, has forced over 850,000 people, half of them children, to flee their homes. Many are living in dire conditions with limited access to basic services. North Korea is believed to be the third largest holder of Bitcoin globally, with allegations of its hacking group Lazarus stealing cryptocurrency. North Korea's Bitcoin stash is valued at over $1.1 billion. Russia has indicated it may allow unarmed observers or civilian missions in Ukraine as part of a potential peace deal. The proposal aims to ensure compliance with the terms of any future peace agreement. The Kremlin has warned that NATO's potential peacekeeping mission in Ukraine, which could involve British and French troops, would escalate the conflict and lead to full-scale war with NATO states. A Navy destroyer ship has been deployed to the southern U.S. border to strengthen national security amid President Trump's efforts to reclaim the Panama Canal. The USS Gravely recently completed a 9-month deployment in the Middle East. Japan is considering deploying missiles on an island to target China and North Korea. The move, seen as a response to growing regional security threats, is still under review by Japanese authorities. Ukrainian soldiers fighting in Russia's Kursk region have described their retreat as catastrophic, with reports of destroyed military equipment and ongoing drone attacks from Russian forces as they withdrew from the front lines. New research suggests that tiny sparks created by falling water droplets and crashing waves may have played a key role in the origins of life on Earth, challenging the long-held theory of lightning striking the ocean to form the first organic molecules. Turkish defense company Baykar announced a successful test of the Kamanx-1, a miniature cruise missile with an AI-based guidance system. The missile was launched from a Bayraktar TB2 drone, signaling significant advancements in autonomous military technologies. Chinese military drills in the Taiwan Strait are a response to foreign support for Taiwan's independence, according to Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning. The drills are framed as necessary measures to safeguard national sovereignty. US President Donald Trump mocked former President Joe Biden over the controversy surrounding the alleged use of an autopen device to replicate signatures. Trump shared images comparing the two leaders' official portraits and the autopen. Taiwan revoked the visa of a Chinese influencer who posted a video advocating for China to forcibly take Taiwan. The influencer, identified as Liu, was ordered to leave Taiwan within 10 days and banned from reapplying for a visa for 5 years. Iranian opposition leader Mehdi Karoubi will be released from house arrest after 14 years. His release, along with that of his political ally Mir Hossein Mousavi, is expected to take place soon, as reported by semi-official media. The US may target Iranian assets in Yemen as part of its ongoing military campaign against the Houthi rebels. President Trump's national security advisor emphasized that the strikes aim to halt the rebels' attacks on vital shipping routes. Colombia's defense minister warned that the US might blacklist the country for failing to curb drug exports, potentially sending more cocaine to the US. The US is considering decertifying Colombia as a partner in the anti-drug effort. Air Canada apologized after it was found that some of its aircraft showed Israel as Palestinian territories on in-flight maps. The airline issued a public apology after backlash, particularly regarding its Boeing 737 MAX fleet. Russia has initiated a criminal case against investigative journalist Sergei Ezov for allegedly failing to comply with foreign agent obligations. Ezov, who is outside Russia, reported that his parents' apartment was searched by Russian authorities. Mike Waltz, U.S. National Security Advisor, stated that Iran must halt all nuclear program activities, including missile and enrichment projects. He reiterated that all options remain on the table if Iran fails to comply with demands. Saudi authorities arrested more than 50 people, including sex workers and foreign nationals, as part of a crackdown on immoral acts. The arrests were linked to offenses in massage parlors and forced begging involving women and children. A man, his wife, stepdaughter, and 4 others face up to 22 years in prison for working as spies for Israel's Mossad. The suspects, arrested in an operation in Istanbul, were involved in gathering intelligence on Israeli targets. Courts in Turkey have blocked access to official websites of several globally recognized alcohol brands following censorship decisions. Websites of brands like Chivas Regal, Jameson, and Bacardi have been restricted based on Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry rulings. Oracle is reportedly in talks with the White House to take over operations of TikTok in the US. However, concerns about TikTok's Chinese founders' involvement in the app's future remain a key hurdle in finalizing the deal. A large unmanned cargo aircraft developed by Yitong UAV System Company completed its first flight, marking a breakthrough for China in high-end unmanned aviation. The aircraft has a payload capacity of over 1 ton.